How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today I'm going to share with you how to make one of the best mocktails I've ever tasted. In fact, one of the best drinks I've ever tasted in my entire life. Here is the recipe in case you don't want to watch my video, but I highly recommend it because there are a lot of little details that would make or break the entire drink. With this drink, you can make kind of like a mixer. You can bring it to a party and do the final preparation there because doing all this takes a little bit of time. This video is brought to you by Moomoood, commission-free trading app. You can get 5 free shares of stock for depositing $100 and 15 free shares of stock for depositing $1,000. Check out my affiliate link down in the video description below. I'm going to put a time marker for when I actually start making this recipe. But before that, I want to tell you the story of how we got here. Last time I went to New York, I visited a place called Double Chicken Please. It's one of the bars that's like the highest recommended in the world. The bar actually has 2 sections to it. There's a front bar and the back bar. The front bar has pre-mixed cocktails out of tap. So when you go there the first time, I actually went to the front bar incorrectly. However, I had the best mixed drink still. It's one of their mocktails and it has winter melon in it. It's super winter melony flavor. It tastes really good. And then with a longer wait, you can go to the back. It has nice lighting and stuff. The deal with this place is they make gourmet mixed drinks. Really, really good. The best I've ever tasted. Their drinks are inspired by very popular food items. And 2 of the best drinks is the Japanese cold noodle. And the second one is the French toast. French toast is on the upper right. Japanese cold noodle is the second one on the left column. You look at the pricing. Wow. $20 each. You might think this is a crazy amount to spend on a drink. Sometimes when I go to these bars, you know, at the top and they have a very nice view, then they would charge you $20 for those. But this place has no view whatsoever and they still charge this amount. And I think the money is well worth it because they put so much effort in. The ingredients are just top tier premium stuff. You're getting an experience because after I tried it, I'm like, wow, I want to try to make this at home. They also have other things which I also tried, which is cold pizza, custard bun on the right. They have a macaroon that looks like a hamburger and also a key lime pie drink. Out of all those, I actually think Japanese cold noodle and the French toast taste the best. So if you're gonna have only 2 drinks, get those 2. And I realize a lot of my subscribers are not in the New York area. If you're there, great, go there and try it out. But if you're in the San Francisco Bay Area, you can go to another award-winning bar called the PCH. Here's a sampling of what I got with a bunch of friends. We tried each other's drinks and I think the best one there is the pandan drink. These drinks are actually not as good as the one at Double Chicken Please. If Double Chicken Please is a 10, I would rate these drinks at probably a 9 and 8.5. This bar is actually started by Jian Chan, which is a mixologist. He's Taiwanese. He started it with a business partner. This drink that I'm actually gonna make today won the 2016 Bacardi Legacy Challenge, which was won by Jian Chan. It used to be called Venceremos, which is a Cuban word for we shall overcome. Eventually, this word is kind of like a mouthful. They changed it to what they call it now, which is Japanese cold noodle. The way I came up with this particular recipe, I just dug up a few of them online. There were some on social media, but I actually did not follow all of those word for word because some of them had a little bit too much weight, so I modified it here and there and make it my own. Now I want to talk about ingredients, which is super duper important. I have made this particular recipe a dozen times. Each time I modified it a little bit until it is what it is today, which hasn't been changing for a while because I kind of like the way it is now. First one, it calls out coconut water. This I think is the best coconut water that you can get unless you can get like actual fresh coconuts. Harmless Harvest organic coconut water. If you just buy one single one, it'll be like $5 at a Safeway. But if you buy this entire pack, I think it's around $14 at Costco. Let me open one up. If you look on the side, the coconut water is actually pink here. There's no artificial flavoring in it. The only ingredient is organic coconut water. Second thing is cucumber. You cannot just use any kind of cucumber that you find. You might think, oh, I'm just gonna make it a first time, I'm gonna cheap out, which is what I did. I used the cheap $1 each cucumber, and when I made it, it didn't taste as good. So get what you call an English cucumber. These are around $2 to $3 each, not too much more, but it is this drink that caused me to buy this for the very first time, and I realized that this is a superior cucumber. It has a very, very good cucumber flavor. These are not organic limes. Regular limes is gonna do. Fresh Dole pineapple is the golden type. Although, you know, they weren't selling any other type. I just bought a pineapple. Some of the recipes calls out a toasted sesame seed oil. Per drink, it rounds out to be about 1 single drop. If you make my recipe here, it might need about 4 to 6 drops. The Kadoya Japanese roasted sesame oil. Don't use this. I tried putting this in. It just didn't taste that good. I think if you really want to put toasted sesame oil, you want to get some kind of more artisan type. Maybe something that you can buy at a artisanal liquor store. If you omit this, it's gonna still taste really good. What makes it taste like a Japanese cold noodle? Cucumber, of course. This refreshing taste of this and the toasted sesame. There's no noodles or anything, but these two things make it taste kind of like Japanese cold noodle. I'm also gonna talk about this juicer. This is a masticating type, which is something that doesn't shred all the stuff that you're trying to juice, and so it kind of squeezes it inside this mechanism. When you juice a cucumber, I found out that you can still eat the pulp. It tastes just like cucumber. It doesn't taste like pulp at all. Although I haven't tried the pulp of the pineapple, I might try that because normally I juice it with the core in there. If I take out the core, it might be tasty enough. There's also the ice cube, which is this thing. You just fill this up with water, put this on top. When you stick it in the freezer, it chills it from the top towards the bottom because this is insulated. Doing so, all the impurities drops to the bottom. The cloudy stuff ends up at the bottom, and the clear ice cubes is at the top. You unmold it after a certain time and break off the bottom cubes, and you use the stuff at the top. I've changed this recipe so that there is no waste. I wanted to make it so that you cut the proper amount of stuff up and make the proper amount of juice. If you have a little bit extra, you can just drink it by itself. Don't add it to the final recipe. Let's say you have an ounce or 2 extra of pineapple. You're like, okay, you know, this is all the same stuff. Let me just put it all into the final mix. I did that too. It tasted a little bit off. You really have to follow the recipe exactly. Don't add extra stuff to it. A little bit on cost here. $2, $3.50. $2 here. So by the time you make one final drink mix, I think the total cost is around $6 for one of these bottles. And we're gonna use about 1/4 of a pineapple for one of these bottles, and one of these bottles can make about 4 drinks. So about 16 drinks is gonna cost about $24. Not that much money. It's like the cost of one single drink at Double Chicken Please. First, we have a cucumber. I picked the biggest cucumber that I could find at the store because this is $2 each. I think it's gonna be right around there to generate 3 ounces of cucumber juice. So I'm gonna cut it right there. Cut open, peel it open. Peel about 2/3 of the skin off. Peel the stuff that doesn't look very good. Anything that's brown, kind of like that. Right? Cut it into 4ths. Juice the cucumber first because the juicer is clean. It doesn't have pineapple in it yet. Let's juice it. Very, very green juice. Get a strainer, pour that in. Almost exactly, there's like half a teaspoon left. 3 ounces of cucumber juice, English cucumber juice. I'm gonna save the cucumber pulp here. Now for the pineapple, cut off the top. Keep the top in the refrigerator. We'll use the leaves later on for garnishing. Cut it in half first. This is a rather big pineapple compared to the other ones. Rather than half, I think I want like something a little bit smaller than half. Like right there, maybe a little bit more. I would prepare the pineapple as if you're gonna eat it. Cut off all the skin. And you see these little dots on it? You're not gonna eat those, right? Cut those off too. I've cleaned it, kind of like in a spiral shape. Now we can cut off the centerpiece. We can still juice this, maybe at the end though. Now let's juice it. Let me try the pulp of the pineapple. Tastes like a less juicy pineapple, but still edible and very sweet. I guess I can eat this. I'm gonna grind the core as well now. Let's see if any juice comes out of that. A little bit. Now let's see if I have 6 ounces here. 4 ounces, 6 ounces. And let's see what extra I have here. It's like about 1/3 of an ounce, so pretty good guess. I'm gonna drink the rest of this. So I have some pineapple left. You can either just eat this or make 3 more batches of this cold noodle thing. I want to save my pineapple, so I'm gonna wrap this up nicely. and stick these in the fridge. Now we need 2 ounces of lime. So here, I have a normal juicer here. Put this upside down in there and squeeze. Squeeze the other one. Put both of them in so you can squeeze them extra. Flip them over to the other side. Squeeze it again. Fold them over. Squeeze them again. Now I want to see how much I have. Just short of 2 ounces. I need a little bit more. Do like 1/3 more of the lime here. And then strain this into the mix, 2 ounces. Now we'll use the coconut water, 100 ml, which is around 3.5 ounces. Put that in a blender. And I'll need 50 grams of sugar, so I'm gonna put this on, tare it, and add 50 grams. Blend this up so it turns into a coconut syrup. I'm gonna use cocktail mode on this blend tech because then it's not gonna spin so fast as to heat anything up. So let's do that. This should be exactly 4 ounces. There. A teaspoon or 2 over. That's what I meant by no waste. You're not making anything extra, so you're using everything. And now comes a little bit of planning ahead. How much liquor do you want to use in this drink? This whole thing is eventually going to be able to make 4 drinks. I like to put a little bit of vodka, a 1/4 ounce of it. And the purpose of that is to emulsify, make it kind of foamy, because without the alcohol, it doesn't get as foamy. It doesn't look as good. Now add 8 ounces of Harmless Harvest coconut water in here and subtract any amount that you're gonna put in alcohol. So if you're gonna put 1 whole shot in each drink, don't put any of this in. But because I'm gonna put in a 1/4 ounce per drink, I need to subtract 1/4 times 4, which is 1 ounce. So I need 7 ounces here, 7 ounces. There we go. The rest here, you can just drink it if you want. Put this in the fridge first and then clean this up and then we'll be right back. This is pure liquid gold. It tastes so good. It'll keep in the fridge for maybe 4 or 5 days or so. You want to prepare your ice cube first. Now this is not absolutely necessary, but I like it because it's nice presentation. Like I said before, you can use this clear ice cube maker. I have one that's prepared right here. The reason we're preparing these first is you don't want to shock it with any kind of liquid. Even if you pour the cold liquid right on top of it right away, it's gonna crack. So you want to let it sit at room temperature for a while. Before we do that, I'm gonna cut off the corners to make it look kind of like a jewel. It just looks so pretty. You can see the one from the original drink. It looks great. It does a better job at cutting the corners than I could. You have to angle your knife like 15 degrees in to give it a straight edge. So there are 12 edges in a cube. Flip it over, do it again. Flip it over, do it again. The corners melts too easily. So that's why we're cutting them off to avoid diluting the drink. I'm shaving off some of the imperfections on the surfaces. It's a nice clear cube. Put it in our glass. I had the opportunity to demonstrate this at a party. And my friend Graham is like, hey, you know, if you shake it with the ice, it's gonna dilute it. So if you wanna shake it a lot, you just want to do what they call a dry shake. First, you get 4 ounces of this. You put it in your shaker, and here comes the liquor. I actually don't have any Bacardi. At least to me, it tastes very, very similar because I'm adding so little alcohol. I'm using the small side of this jigger. Oops. Oh, it's a little bit too much. It's okay. It's more like 1/3 of an ounce. I made a mistake, but that's okay. We can put it in there. And then we do the dry shake. Put it in there. And then shake it. And I want to emulsify. Take it out. I've done this without the liquor and it doesn't foam up like that. Now we can put in some ice cubes. I'm doing about 3/4 full because I've done it full before. It gets way too cold. It becomes a slushy almost. So put it in there. Shake it about 10 times. That's enough to not dilute it too much. Now for the garnish, get 2 of these leaves, pick off the better looking ones, and if you want to clean it up some more, you are allowed to cut it. Like so. Just cut off the brown parts of the leaves. And I'm gonna wash these because I'm gonna stick them into the drink and put in your garnish in the side. You can see right through the drink. Nice fizziness. Let me smell it. It's like The cucumber gives it a refreshing, crisp smell. The fresh pineapple juice gives it some tartness and some sweetness. And the vodka makes it nice and foamy, so there's this very fine texture to it. There's also the coconut water. You have the most premium ones, really, really good. So let's give this a try. I'm satisfied. Whenever I go travel, sometimes I taste something really, really good and I just want to bring it home. A lot of the things I actually cannot recreate, but this comes really, really close. If you have premium toasted sesame seed oil, go ahead and put a drop in it. But if you don't, just leave it out and it'll taste really, really good on its own. Although there's a little bit of alcohol, you can't taste it at all. It's so good that when I have this in the fridge, my girlfriend's like, when are we gonna have our next cold noodle? We've been drinking this a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe. I think the entire video is just as important as just the recipe itself because it's all about the little tips and tricks all along the way. You can get a recipe on how to make a croissant, but having just the ingredients does not mean you know how to make the croissant. If you guys are interested in any of the equipment I use, like the masticating juicer, I'll put the links to all this equipment down in the video description below. World-class drink here. Not diluted at all. The cube is still there. It tastes great throughout. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe for more.